Fisseha Tekle is Amnesty International's researcher for Ethiopia, and he joins me from Nairobi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, how did Amnesty International gather the evidence in this report? And has Eritrea responded to your findings?
Yeah, we did this investigation in two states. We went to Sudan. We interviewed refugees from Axum city who managed to go to Sudan, Eastern Sudan. In addition to that, we spoke to a number of witnesses who are based in Axum by phone. And we also have the satellite imagery analysis and video verification of some videos that's tricked out of Axum. And our finding indicates that there is reasonable ground to suspect that there was war crime and also crimes against humanity committed in Axum city. And we are urging the Ethiopian government to put an end to these atrocities, not only in Axum, but also in other places in Tigray.
That's right. Your report has just been released. I imagine you're still waiting to hear from the Eritrean government, or have you heard anything so far?
We wrote to the Ethiopian government. This massacre has happened in Ethiopia. And even if most of the allegations are against the Eritrean soldiers, the massacre has happened in Ethiopia, and so we have asked the Ethiopian government to comment on our findings before our release. But we have not received any communication, any response to our letter until we released the report this morning.
Well, can Eritrea be held accountable for these alleged crimes, and how can that be done?
Yes, the forces who are involved in the killing of civilians and involved in looting and indiscriminate shelling of civilian neighborhoods in Axum and other places in the conduct of this conflict should be held accountable. And that's why we are asking for a UN-led investigation into this massacre, and that ensures accountability and justice for victims.
Well, it's difficult to verify any information from Tigray because of restricted access. But how have the human rights abuses affected the people living in the region? And what does it say about the Ethiopian government's control?
What happened in Axum is extremely harrowing. The level of organization, the systemic nature of the massacre by going from home to home, targeting the male segment of the population in town is extremely harrowing. But verifying this information was difficult, and that's why it took us more than 3 months to come up with this report. But in general, what we are saying is that while this conflict is being conducted, there has to be a proper regard for human rights and international humanitarian laws. Those who are involved in this conflict should respect these basic restrictions that are there for protection of civilians. And any involvement in this kind of atrocities, including war crime and crimes against humanity, should be followed by prosecution and accountability.
Thank you so much, Fisseha Tekle, Amnesty International's researcher for Ethiopia. Thank you so much for speaking to us on this issue.